Navigating family drama and personal struggles is a big part of my life. I'm Mackenzie Foster, a 32-year-old marketing executive, and I've worked tirelessly to get where I am. My husband, Jake, has been my biggest supporter since day one of our 5-year marriage, especially when it comes to handling his family. There's Barbara, my well-meaning mother-in-law, and Jake's cousins, Tyler and Allison, who are pretty great. But then there's Vanessa, Jake's sister, and let's just say, a real challenge. As I adjusted my new dress in front of the mirror, my mind wandered back a few months. I had been lying in a hospital bed, terrified as the doctor informed me I'd need emergency surgery for endometriosis, a condition I'd silently battled for years, impacting my fertility and causing relentless pain. The surgery was necessary but left scars, both physical and emotional. I chose to keep it private, partly because it was deeply personal and partly to avoid the inevitable questions and pity, especially from Vanessa, who'd likely turn my struggle into fodder. She had often made snide comments about when Jake and I would have kids, oblivious to our private pain. "Mac, you about ready?" Jake's voice pulled me back to the present. "On my way," I called, taking a deep breath before heading downstairs. Jake smiled as I appeared. "You look beautiful, honey. How are you feeling about today?" I shrugged. "As ready as I'll ever be to face Vanessa." He pulled me into a hug. "Remember, I've got your back, okay? No one needs to know about the surgery if you're not ready." The annual family reunion was a big tradition, held at the lake house that had been in the family for generations. It was meant to be about reconnecting, but recently it felt more like stepping into a minefield. On the drive over, Jake and I reminisced about past reunions. "Remember when Vanessa accidentally spilled red wine all over my white dress last year?" I asked. Jake sighed. "Yeah. And don't forget how she announced your job situation before you had a chance to explain the company downsizing. She really knows how to make me feel small," I muttered, my hand drifting to my abdomen, where my scars were hidden. Jake reached over and squeezed my hand. "Not this year," he promised. As we arrived, Barbara greeted us warmly. "Mackenzie, sweetie, you look wonderful. Come on in." We stepped inside, and I immediately locked eyes with Vanessa, who wore a smirk that made me uneasy. "Well, look who's here," she said as she sauntered over. "Mackenzie, dear, how have you been? Any news to share?" Her eyes flicked to my midsection, and my stomach tightened. Jake stepped in, his arm protective around my waist. "We're doing great, Vanessa. How about you?" She raised an eyebrow. "Oh, just peachy. Always curious to see what's new with you two. No little ones on the way yet." Just then, her husband, Derek, joined her, looking as uncomfortable as ever. "Hey guys, good to see you. Vanessa, honey, why don't we go help your mom in the kitchen?" As they walked away, I exhaled slowly. "Thanks for that," I whispered to Jake. He kissed my forehead. "Always. Now come on, let's go say hi to Tyler and Allison before Vanessa finds something else to comment on." Little did I know, this was just the beginning of what would turn into the most eventful family reunion yet. The sun was high in the sky as I stepped onto the back porch of the lake house, taking in the scene. Family members were scattered across the lawn, some playing horse shows, others chatting by the grill. I pushed down the anxiety bubbling in my chest. "Hey, Mackenzie, come join us," Tyler called, waving from the volleyball net he was setting up. I smiled, grateful for the distraction. "Sure, just don't expect any Olympic-level moves from me," I laughed, joining the game. But I could feel Vanessa's eyes on me from where she sat with a group of aunts. I did my best to ignore her, focusing instead on the game and the laughter of my teammates. After a while, Barbara called out, "All right, everyone, time for the family photo." We all gathered near the lake, jostling for position. I ended up near the front, with Jake's arm around my waist. Just as the photographer was about to snap the picture, I felt a sharp tug on my dress. "Oh, Mackenzie, your dress is all wrinkled. Let me fix that for you," Vanessa said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. Before I could react, she yanked hard on the fabric. There was a loud rip, and suddenly I felt a rush of cool air on my skin. Everything froze for a moment as I looked down to see my dress torn open, exposing the scars from my surgery. Gasps echoed around me, and I stood there, paralyzed with shock and humiliation. "Oh my God," someone whispered. Jake quickly moved to cover me with his jacket. "What the hell, Vanessa?" he growled. Vanessa's laughter sliced through the silence. Oops, guess I don't know my own strength. Sorry about that, Mackenzie. I couldn't bear to look at anyone. Tears stinging my eyes, I turned and ran back into the house, ignoring the calls behind me. Once inside, I locked myself in a bedroom, sliding down against the door as sobs racked my body. A few moments later, I heard a soft knock. "It's me, Jake. Can I come in?" he asked. I hesitated before unlocking the door, and Jake slipped in, wrapping me in his arms. "I'm so sorry, babe. I can't believe she did that." Everyone saw Jake. "They all know now," I whispered, my face buried in his chest. "It's okay," he said softly. "You have nothing to be ashamed of." We sat there, him stroking my hair, until I heard voices in the hallway. "Vanessa, how could you do such a thing?" Barbara's voice was thick with disappointment. "Oh, come on, Mom. It was just a joke." How was I supposed to know she was hiding some big secret under there? Maybe if she wasn't so uptight all the time. I felt Jake tense beside me. "I should go out there." I grabbed his arm. "No, don't. It'll only make things worse." He sighed, pulling me closer. "You're right, but we can't let her get away with this." A newfound determination rose within me. I'm done letting her walk all over me. This ends now. This was about more than standing up to Vanessa. It was about reclaiming my dignity. No more hiding. No more shame. It was time to face this, scars and all. In the days following the reunion, I barely left the house. Jake did his best to comfort me, but the humiliation replayed over and over in my mind. Finally, I called my best friend Zoe. "I can't take it anymore," I said, my voice cracking. "Oh, honey, I'm coming over right now," Zoe said, and within an hour, she was at my door. As we sat on my couch, I poured out years of pent-up frustration about Vanessa's bullying and manipulation. "She's always putting me down, making me feel small," I explained. But this was a new low. Zoe listened, her brow furrowed. "Mackenzie, you can't let her keep doing this. It's time to stand up for yourself." "But how?" She always twists things around. "We gather evidence," Zoe said, a determined glint in her eye. "Build a case against her and show everyone who she really is." As we brainstormed, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Derek, Vanessa's husband. "Can we talk? It's important." Curious though wary, I agreed to meet him at a local cafe. When I arrived, Derek looked nervous, glancing over his shoulder. "Mackenzie, I'm so sorry about what happened at the reunion," he began. "But there's more you need to know about Vanessa." Over the next hour, Derek revealed a troubling history of Vanessa's behavior, not just toward me, but toward him and their children too. He mentioned financial issues and hinted that Vanessa had been acting strangely about money. "I think she might be doing something at work," he whispered, "but I can't prove it." Armed with this new information, I threw myself into investigation mode. I reached out to old colleagues of Vanessa's, piecing together a pattern of workplace issues. I combed through social media, finding signs of emotional manipulation toward her kids. But the most shocking discovery came when I started talking to other family members. Tyler pulled me aside at a coffee shop, looking troubled. "Mackenzie, I don't know if I should tell you this, but..." He hesitated. "Vanessa's been spreading nasty rumors about you and Jake, about why you don't have kids yet." My heart sank. "What kind of rumors?" I asked, bracing myself. Tyler's revelation turned out to be just the tip of the iceberg. As I dug deeper, I uncovered a web of lies Vanessa had spun, turning family members against each other with vicious gossip and half-truths. Soon, Allison joined our cause, sharing her own experiences of Vanessa's cruelty. "She's always been jealous of you, Mackenzie," Allison explained. "I think she sees you as a threat." With each piece of evidence, my confidence grew. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about protecting our family from Vanessa's toxic influence. One evening, as Jake and I reviewed everything we'd uncovered, he looked at me with a mix of pride and concern. "Are you sure you want to do this, Mac? Once we confront her, there's no going back." I took a deep breath, thinking about all the pain Vanessa had caused, not just to me but to so many others. "I'm sure," I said firmly. "It's time to end this once and for all." As we finalized our plan, I felt a strange blend of anticipation and dread. The next family gathering would be the showdown we'd been building toward. Vanessa had no idea what was coming, but I was finally ready, armed with the truth and surrounded by those who mattered most. Walking into Barbara's house for the gathering, I felt a surge of confidence. Jake squeezed my hand reassuringly as we entered the living room where everyone was assembled. Vanessa's eyes narrowed when she saw me. "Well, if it isn't the star of our last get-together," she sneered. "Ready for another show, Mackenzie?" I took a deep breath. "Actually, Vanessa, I think it's time for your show to end." The room fell silent as I calmly began to speak, presenting the evidence I'd gathered. I revealed Vanessa's workplace fraud, her manipulation of family members, and the emotional toll her actions had taken on everyone, including her own children. "You've been spreading lies about all of us," I said, my voice steady, "turning us against each other for your own amusement." The family's shock was palpable. Barbara's hand flew to her mouth, tears welling in her eyes. Derek stood up, his face pale. "I can't do this anymore, Vanessa," he said. "I'm leaving you, and I'm going to seek full custody of our children." Vanessa's carefully crafted image crumbled before our eyes. She sputtered, trying to defend herself, but the evidence was overwhelming. Barbara approached me, her voice trembling. "Mackenzie, I'm so sorry. I should have seen this sooner. Thank you for being brave enough to speak up." In the days that followed, the consequences of Vanessa's actions snowballed. Her company launched an investigation based on the evidence I provided, which led to her termination and potential legal repercussions. The family rallied around me, expressing their gratitude and admiration for standing up to Vanessa. Tyler and Allison shared their own stories, finally free from her influence. Months later, I stood in my office, looking out at the city skyline. My career was thriving, and I felt more confident than ever. Jake and I were even starting to talk about adoption, no longer held back by the fear of Vanessa's judgment. I thought about Vanessa now, jobless, divorced, and estranged from the family. While I didn't rejoice in her misfortune, I felt relief knowing she could no longer hurt us. Reflecting on my journey, I realized how much stronger I'd become. The scars that once made me feel ashamed now reminded me of my resilience. I had overcome not just my health challenges, but also the toxic influence that had plagued my life for so long. With a smile, I turned back to my desk, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. I was no longer hiding or shrinking myself. I was standing tall, scars and all, finally free to be my true self. Have you ever confronted a toxic family member? How did it change your relationships? Share your experiences in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story of standing up to manipulation, please like and subscribe for more empowering content.